What was the one feeling that you got? These founders are being romanticizing about the title instead of actually standing up and building the companies.
I encourage people to look behind the surface, not just to look at the glamorous title, right? Because behind the scene,
What was more difficult for you to make your vision more clear, or others to understand what your vision is?
of course, me and my co-founder, we are firm believer in our vision, in what we are building. But to make others believe in us,
Being a business developer at the initial stage of your work life, and then you eventually growed to be a mentor, to be training people and founders and startups. So how that the shift goes?
I think the major difference happens between working for others and working for myself. So before, even though I kind of involving BD role, but right now being a founder is completely different game.
Some titles sounds lighter than they are. Founder, CEO, they carry applause on the surface but weight underneath. Our guest today keeps returning to the same tension: independence versus responsibility, the freedom to build exactly what you believe in, and the quiet pressure of making sure everyone behind you gets paid tomorrow. She talks about startups as fights, about frugality as discipline, about products that don't impress investors at the first glance. This is Carol Chen, the co-founder and CEO of StartupLink, and this conversation is for anyone discovering that belief is easy and earning trust is the harder part.
Well, hello and welcome, Carol over here. So
Thank you.
how are you, first of all?
I'm feeling fantastic. Yeah, always happy to be at events, energetic event like this one.
And you've been to multiple chains of different events all over the globe, right? So how was your experience over here as compared to other regions?
Because it's my first time in Qatar and I actually live in Dubai. So naturally, I'm comparing Web Summit with GTEx, with Expand North Star. I think it's equally good, equally energetic. We have lots of great founders, investors around the world. I can feel the energy from the ground, from the floor. But the thing is, I feel this one is probably tiny, smaller scale. So it's more navigatable. It's easier for me to even get here. I think the traffic is more manageable. So it's more friendlier for the visitors, for the attendees.
Wonderful. And you've been having a great track record of training different set of people all around the globe, right? And how was the overall experience of you shifting from being a business developer at the initial stage of your work life, and then you eventually growed to be a mentor, to be training people and founders and startups? So how that the shift goes?
I think the major difference happens between working for others and working for myself. So before, even though I kind of involving BD role, but right now being a founder is completely different game. It's completely different story because being founder, you simply have to follow from zero to the end, and you have to work on the concept. Then you have to work on the BD, marketing, also the operation side, even so part of the programming, engineering side, you also have to touch on. So founder is very rounded role. For me, that's a big challenge. But also, I like to be independent, be flexible, be working on my own ideas, be proactive. So it's completely different story than working for others.
And what was the one thing that you learned in this process that you thought this is something that you haven't done yet, but it's very well needed, and that made you build StartupLink X?
Well, being a founder means huge responsibility. It's a fancy title. It has a huge halo around it. Everyone loves the title of founder, but you can also put CEO after founder. The thing is, it means huge responsibility, not just the benefits, the title, the rights you are getting out of it, but the responsibility, because then I have a team behind me, right? Every day I have to make sure our business is healthy. I can actually make our ends meet and make enough revenue so everyone can stay in the company. So being a founder, especially nowadays, 99% of startup won't survive after 3 years. So I'm very proud that after 2 years, we are still standing strong. We are even making money, making revenue profitable. So being a startup, that's very, very rare. That I actually took a huge responsibility on my own shoulder to take care of the team. That's one thing I think I learned significantly through my journey being a founder.
And while training other founders as well, what was the one feeling that you got? These founders are being romanticizing about the title instead of actually standing up and building the companies.
Startup is a glamorous idea, but I encourage people to look behind the surface, not just to look at the glamorous title, right? Because behind the scene, there are lots of hard work involved. I worked with thousands of founders across the globe. I know that only the hardest builders can have the slightest chance of survival, because eventually being frugal, because lots of founders think, okay, I just have a fancy idea. I go out and raise money. I can attract investors with beautiful PPT slides. That's enough. But that's absolutely just not even scratch the surface of being a founder. Even if you manage to raise money, that's just the start of a very long, very tough journey afterwards. And I actually admire the founder who didn't even go out to raise money, build everything from scratch by themselves. If they still manage to survive, attract users, especially the paid user, without even raise a single penny, that shows their traction. That shows people are in need of their product.
And the moment the startup exits the bracket of being a startup, what's your strategy then?
If they exit the bracket of being a startup, meaning that they are strong enough to be scaling, for example, right? For example, they are no longer bothering about MVP, which is just a minimal viable product. They already have stable stream of users. Even better if they have a stable stream of revenue. I think what they think about after that stage is usually building the process and building the team. Because as a founder, you cannot just do everything by yourself. Maybe at the early stage, you get deals through your personal network, personal relationship. But after you across certain stage, you cannot do that anymore. You have to give that to the process. You have to build a strong team behind you so it can be on autopilot. Even you are on your vacation, you are not working, the company is still working fine and can have the potential, it's posed to grow exponentially. So I think the scaling stage is really just about thinking about the process, thinking about how to amass a huge and reliable, stable team behind you.
And what about StartupLink? Is it still in the process of building things at the core level, and or you have stepped out already?
I think we are not at the scaling stage yet. We are still perfecting our product. We just launched our product 2.0 right before this Web Summit Qatar. Right now, we are really focusing on solidifying our product, fixing the bugs, and listen to the feedback from users and trying to, fix or add the features that they wish for and also fix the bugs they feedback to us. So right now we really try to make the product better, stronger, getting us even more ready to a stage where we can fastly scale.
With the whole story of you training people, training your team as well, building this startup that can help other startups, give me three major key things or strategies or your go-to tips that you follow if someone who is being on an early stage of just ideation or making it to the next seed round or different levels of investment. What are the key core components or strategies that you follow that other people can also learn and make them grow?
Okay, I would say first thing is a team. Again, you cannot do it alone. So how you can train people, how you can unite people to work together with you, to fight with you. Building a startup is a fight for me. It's fight for survival every day. So how you unite the team. You cannot just order or command people to do something. You have to inspire them. You have to give them growth. You have to provide them opportunities. I think that's a key that the team can follow you. If you just tell them, I mean, like a boss or something, you do this, do that, that will never keep the team around you for long. So how to inspire them on daily operation, daily exercises, not just telling them what to do, but usually what I do is that I tell them what I want as an end goal. I describe the vision that I want to, or the end result I want to achieve. But it's up to them to figure out a method, how they want to get there. They have their full flexibility, their full responsibility to reach the goal that I want. So that's the first thing, the team. And second, I feel like the startup should be very obsessed about product. If you are a software, you are building a software, you have to be obsessed about your product. I know that, give you an example, StartupLink is not a too sophisticated or deep tech technology startup. What we are building is relatively simple technically, but what we try to do is that we make it really user friendly, very easy for founders to navigate. To like the UI UX design, very beautiful, very easy to use. That's our demonstration of obsession around product. So that's the second thing, product. I think the third thing would be finances. I would recommend all the founders to be frugal. Regardless, you have raised money or you are bootstrapping, you have to be frugal. You have to watch every penny you spend. For us, even we travel for event, we stay at the economic hotel. We have very little spends for our daily operation. We try to be as frugal as possible on daily activity. So I know that some startups, after raising money, they simply start building lavish offices and take, business class in the trip. Yeah. So that's absolutely, I would recommend every startup to go against. Yeah. They have to be watchful on their wallet, on their budget. So that's the three things so far that came to my mind. I think I'm really, I think really are the focus of what we should, emphasize. Yeah.
And the thing you mentioned about the vision of the brand, uh, just a quick wrap up final question. What was more difficult for you to make your vision more clear, or others to understand what your vision is
So you mean you want me to
while building the
describe what
yes,
my
yes.
vision is? Okay.
I mean, what was more difficult for you to let others understand what's your vision for the Startup Link X, or yourself to believe in it? What was more difficult for you?
The two scenario which is more difficult, I think is making other believing our vision is more difficult. Of course, me and my co-founder, we are firm believer in our vision, in what we are building, but to make others believe in us, it's more challenging. I mean, again, we are not building a deep tech startup. So often it's harder for us to present us in front of investor, because investor, they often like fancy pitch decks and very fancy ideas, right? But for us, because we are building in a very niche market, but relatively technically quite easy concept, so it's difficult to impress investors on that. That's why I thought impressing others with our vision is way more difficult compared to just convincing ourselves.
Well, thank you so much, Carol, for all the insights that you gave, and helping the startups to reach the final destination they actually want, to be out of the zone of being a startup. And that's all for us now. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day and the next day after this. It's still just the middle of the event. I hope you enjoy it. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for having me today. Yeah, had a wonderful conversation with you. Thank
Thank you.
you.